Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to the 9 p.m. English News Edition. Here are the top stories. The Republic of Djibouti restores the truth about the detention of Mr. Fuad Yusuf Ali. For the international news, after the death of George Floyd, demonstration targets Europe's colonial past. Hello, welcome to our newsroom for having the news in details. The Republic of Djibouti wished to re-establish the truth of the facts concerning Mr. Fuad Yusuf Ali. For some days now, certain circles linked to the opposition have been propagating false accusations and theories concerning the incarceration of Mr. Fuad Yusuf Ali in the civil prison of Gabon. The Republic of Djibouti formally contests these versions, which are circulating in certain media, including foreign publications. The Republic of Djibouti would like to recall the serious fact, particularly with regard to an officer of the Djiboutian Armed Forces, which led to the opening of a judicial inquiry against Mr. Fuad Yusuf Ali. These facts were committed in flagrant delicate, as evidenced by the fact that they were recorded and broadcast by his people. On April 9, 2020, the prosecutor of the Republic has demanded the opening of a judicial inquiry against Mr. Fuad Yusuf Ali, accusing him of attempting to fraudulently evade a military aircraft, destroy this aircraft, maintain a relationship with a foreign power which is Eritrea, published words in the press inciting hatred and uprising of the population with the aim of seriously disturbing public order, harmed national defense by inciting the military to disobey, publicly defamed the Djiboutian Armed Forces in Djibouti during the month of March. These are accusations that call into question national security and which will challenge justice of any state. There is no military justice in Djibouti. Mr. Fuad Yusuf Ali will have to answer for his action before a civil court like any other citizen of Djibouti. Mr. Fuad Yusuf Ali's rights of defense have been respected since he was free to remain silent during his interrogation at his first appearance on 22nd April 2020 while waiting to receive the assistance of the lawyer of his choice. On 23rd April 2020, the wife of the defendant granted him a communication permit. Under the chairmanship of the Honorable Kaltoun Farah Yassin, the Committee on Legislation, General Administration and Human Rights held yesterday, 11 June, a meeting whose agenda including the examination of Bill number 080-AN20, 80th legislature establishing the National School of Judicial Studies. This meeting in the committee room of the parliamentary institution took place with the participation of the Minister of Justice and Penitentiary Affairs in charge of human rights, Ali Hassan Bahdon, accompanied by the main official of the Republic. After a general discussion and legislative analysis, the members of the law committee came out in favor of adoption of the above mentioned provision, which had been amended beforehand. Now, the General Secretary of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Salah bin Tatra, made the press briefing on today, Friday, 12 June 2020. 1,057 tests performed, 43 cases positive to COVID-19, 211 cases cured, 1 unfortunately death. As far as the global assessment of the epidemic is concerned, it is declining as follows. 40,356 tests were performed, 4,441 cases positive to COVID-19, 2,730 cases cured, 38 deaths in total. And we remind the population to call on 1517 in case of symptoms. Stay vigilant, protect yourself, and protect the others. And now a video conference was organized yesterday afternoon by the Permanent Mission of Djibouti to the United Nations, entitled A Conceptual Framework for Understanding the Critical Role Played by Commercial and Humanitarian Logistic Bases. The role of Djibouti as a commercial, humanitarian and logistic hub at this difficult time for COVID-19 was at the center of discussion. Apart from the chairman of the Djibouti Port and Free Zones Authority, Mr. Abubakar Omar Hadi, the panelists included Dr. Carlos Lopez, professor at the University of Cape Town, South Africa, Mrs. Barbara Menzi, regional coordinator of the United Nations system in Djibouti, Dr. Ahmed Zouaitin, WHO representative in Djibouti, and Mr. Jacques Collignon, director of the WFP Humanitarian Logistics Center in Djibouti. Mr. Hadi first of all retraced the history of Djibouti as an important maritime route and salt exporter. Djibouti has been a maritime nation for over 1,000 years. The ancient name of Djibouti was the White Gold, named after the salt trade from Lake Assal at 153 meter below sea level, the lowest point on the African continent, exporting salt as far as the Timbuktu. In the past, salt was also used as a commodity and currency, he said. In order to further strengthen the geostrategic position, we are developing a 3+1 model, 2 free trade zones, a financial district supported by modern infrastructures with an international maritime center to increase the maritime connectively index. The whole of this integrated system is supported by a digitized procedure platform via the Djibouti Community Port System, he added. In our network expansion project, we also are investing in transport infrastructures in southern Sudan, river ports, waterways, and transport, seaport in Somalia, and dry port and logistic platform in Ethiopia. He concluded. All speakers praised Djibouti's handling of the global COVID-19 pandemic. Congratulations to the President of the Republic of Djibouti for the preparation in response to COVID-19, said Dr. Ahmed Zouaitin, WHO representative in Djibouti. Dr. Carlos Lopez said that unlike landlocked countries, Djibouti is being saved thanks to its maritime routes. In response to two questions, the President of the Djibouti Port and Free Zone Authority addressed the subject of and the importance of Djibouti Port Community System. It should be remembered that this is an undocumented documentation system and it is done online, connected all port users such as freight forwarders, customs, ports authorities, the railway, etc. It is a system that allows for the exchange of information among all port users. Mr. Hadi stressed that this platform saves time, more transparency, and without the need to go to an office. In this period of COVID-19 pandemic, this platform has made it possible to limit the movement of port users, he informed. In addition, Mr. Hadi answered another question concerning the blue economy. For the moment, in Djibouti, we use the sea mainly for maritime transport, but we intend to use it for fishing, the hotel industries, tourism, and a sustainable way, he said. The blue economy is the sustainable use of ocean resources for economic growth, improved livelihoods, and employment while preserving the health of the ocean ecosystem. Now, on the instruction of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, and at the request of the people of Tadjoura, a partnership agreement was signed with the army to set up a firefighting vehicle duly armed with personnel in the presence of the Director General of Civil Protection, Colonel Mahmoud Musa Mahmoud, the prefect of the city of Tadjoura, Mr. Musa Mahmoud Hassan Adabali, the chief of corps, Colonel Ali Shahib, and the president of the regional council, Omar Hussein. The responsibility for the personnel and the equipment allocated was temporarily placed under the responsibility of the chief of corps of the army until the national director of civil protection takes over. In the near future, a fire station will be built in Tadjoura with sophisticated equipment. In a speech delivered on this occasion, the prefect of the region said that this step is only the beginning of the creation of a civil protection office in the region and the fulfillment of a long-standing desire of the local authorities and the people to create a civil protection institution in the region. He noted that the establishment of this cell will help the fight fires and save the lives of citizens in the event of accident and humanitarian emergencies in Tadjoura region. For his part, the Director General of the Civil Defense, Colonel Mahmoud Musa Mahmoud, stressed that this agreement, which would create a regional civil defense unit, comes after the last round that the President of the Republic, Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, had taken in the region of the interior and on his instruction to follow the request of the inhabitants of Tadjoura for the signing of a partnership agreement between the prefect of the region of Tadjoura and the Civil Defense Foundation for the granting of a fire truck for the north of the country. He indicated that the creation of this civil defense unit in Tajura is the initiative of the President of the Republic, Mr. Ismail Margele, in response to a request he received from the inhabitants of the Tajura region. Now, another subject: as part of the community awareness raising activities to combat the spread of the COVID-19, masks and gloves are being distributed in the capital, Djibouti, the citizens, particularly traders and small businesses. In addition, many young volunteers distributed alcoholic disinfectant product of the toilet, mask and gloves the workers in shops located in Mahmoud Harbi Square. This occasion is part of the prevention of the spread of the COVID-19 epidemic among these workers and of the implementation of necessary instructions to fight against this pandemic, such as the respect of the quarantine and social separation measures. It is reported that the young leaders have launched this awareness-raising operation and distributed medical supplies under the supervision of the Secretary of State of Youth and Sport since the beginning of the containment imposed by the authorities in our country. The Young Volunteer has also provided educational tools to young people as part of the awareness campaign to prevent the coronavirus. Now, shocked by the sudden disappearance of Mother Aisha Ali Ahmed, which occurred on 10th June 2020 in Djibouti, carried away barely 10 days after the disappearance of her beloved husband, retired Colonel Aden Okiebuh. Mother Aisha Ali has left this world but will always remain alive in our heart. She was loved and respected by everyone who came into contact with her, even if only for a day. Our only consolation will be to think that the Almighty will allow her to join the noble gardens of Firdaus al-Jannah among the Prophet, the truthful, and the martyrs. We extend our deepest condolences to the family, doubly saddened by the successive loss of the two loved ones, and implore the Almighty Allah to strengthen their hearts and cover them with His infinite mercy. Moving on to international news now. In London, the authorities hastily removed a statue of the slave trader Robert Milligan to prevent it from ending up like that of Edward Colston, another slave trader, which was thrown into the port in Bristol by a demonstrator to protest the movement after the death of George Floyd went beyond the simple condemnation of racism. It now confronts Europe with its colonialist past. This is probably the first time in the history of slavery that the white community, the white system, is extremely cooperative. So I think the next thing we should be doing is getting rid of racism, says Geoff Palmer, a historian at the University of Edinburgh. In front of Oxford University, a new demonstration against colonization is taking place in memory of George Floyd, the African American who was stuffed during his arrest. Destroying the past is never a good thing. It is quite peculiar to demand the destruction or removal of statues of people who died centuries ago. It seems to me to be a strange diversion from more urgent things, says journalist and author Peter Hitchens. Even a statue of Churchill has been taken, provoking the anger of far-right activists who plan to demonstrate in front of it on Saturday in London. Be careful not to choose just one individual, because the whole empire, the whole of Britain, the universities, the cities, the industry were built with materials, resources, and wealth from other parts of the world, warns Peter Frankopan. This is it for this edition. Thank you for watching us and have a wonderful night.